What? Overjoyed, Alex rushed over to Ken and held his arm. He asked, Ken, have you got news about Debbie? Well, yes, Ken nodded. He pressed a button on his cell phone and a photo appeared on the screen, which he showed to Alex. It was of a cell phone. Alex recognized it immediately as Debbie's phone. He was so excited that he could hardly speak. He grabbed the phone off Ken and stammered, The cell phone, it's Debbie's. Well, our people found it in Washington, D.C. We know from the fingerprints on the screen that it's definitely Debbie's. Now you've also confirmed it, Ken said with a smile. He continued, I now believe that there's a very good chance that Debbie is in Washington. I'm going to focus our search there. I'm convinced that soon we'll have very good news. Okay, please get back to the search straight away. When you find her, you'll be very well rewarded, Alex said happily. There's no need for that, Mr. Ambrose. It's all part of our service to your family, Ken said. Then, with a little trepidation, he continued, Now that we have some clues, we're sure to find her very quickly. There's no need now for you to go in person. Just leave everything to us. Alex replied adamantly, No, I've already decided. Before I didn't know where to start to look, but now I know where to go. I gave up too quickly last time. I won't do that again. After chatting with Ken for a while longer, Alex realized that it was already late evening, so he decided that he would wait and leave the following day. He went back to his room and ordered a ticket on the internet for the train at 11 o'clock the next morning. He planned to go and get some dinner, then to get an early night. He wanted a good night's sleep to regain his energy. He was just leaving his room when his cell phone rang. He didn't recognize the number, and when he answered the call, he found that it was Sharon Williams, a close friend of Kelly Phillips. Hello, Alex. I'm really sorry to disturb you, she said. The last time they had met at the Phillips family gathering, she had witnessed Alex intentionally destroying Brian Foster's. She was understandably wary of him. She also knew that he was from such a rich and powerful family that the president of had personally delivered his new car. She shivered when she remembered how she had treated him at the gathering before she knew who he was. What's the matter? Alex asked impatiently. Sharon quickly replied, Well, I'm calling you because of Kelly. Since the last family gathering, she's become completely withdrawn. She never goes out anymore but stays at home by herself all the time. I visit her every day, and I can tell from her red eyes that she cries all the time. I'm really worried about her. Hearing her mention Kelly, Alex's heart fluttered. He remembered her smiling face and optimistic attitude to life. I know that you care about her. Please, could you meet with her? She can't go on like this, Sharon said anxiously. Alex was moved by what he heard and agreed to Sharon's request. He said, Okay, tell her that I'll meet her at 9 o'clock tomorrow morning at Ramsey Lake on the university campus. Sharon thanked him and ended the call. As Sharon was ending her call to Alex, Rose was speaking on the phone to her aunt, Sue Bradley, who told her that Alex was about to leave New York. She was surprised. Since convincing herself that he was in love with her, Rose had been dreaming about becoming Alex's girlfriend. She had been looking forward to being with him again as soon as possible. She had decided to accept him as soon as he approached her and made his desires clear. But for the past 2 days, she had not heard from him at all, and she was becoming a little anxious. However, when she remembered how affectionate he had been with her, she was relieved. She remained convinced that she was the girl that he was in love with. When she heard that he was leaving New York for a period of time, Rose panicked a little. She thought, what if Alex meets some beautiful woman on his travels and forgets all about me? As she thought more about it, she became increasingly anxious. I must take the initiative, she thought. Before Alex leaves, I'll make sure that I become his girlfriend. If I can't do that, I must at least speak to him and sort out our relationship. Then even if he's away from New York, I'll have an excuse to keep calling him. Maybe I'll even go with him. Having made up her mind, she called him. Alex was wary when he saw that Rose was calling, but he still answered her call. She said to him shyly, "Alex, now it's the summer vacation and all my friends have gone home. I'm very bored at home on my own every day. Can you go out with me for the day tomorrow?" "Sorry, I can't. I'm leaving New York tomorrow," Alex answered. Rose thought for a moment. Thank goodness I made this call. Otherwise, I wouldn't know that he was leaving so soon. She said, "Where are you going? I can go with you. I'm already bored with being at home." She tried to sound calm, but her anxiety was clear in her voice. "No, I need to go alone," Alex answered. "I'm already booked on tomorrow's 11 o'clock train. I'm going to Washington, D.C. There is something I have to do there." He was going to find Debbie. There was no way he was going to take Rose with him. But she insisted. 11 o'clock isn't that early. Can you meet me for a while? Just for a chat? Perhaps just a walk by Ramsey Lake? Please?" Alex didn't know what to say. "Do you still hate me because of the way I treated you?" Rose asked suddenly. She sobbed. "I know that I used to treat you badly. I used to insult you and laugh at you. I know that I hurt you, but I hope that you meant it that day in the villa when you said you could forgive me." "Don't worry about it. I did mean what I said. I do forgive you. Don't cry." When he heard her voice trembling, his heart softened. "Okay, I'll meet you at Ramsey Lake tomorrow. But remember, I can't stay long. I'll only have time to walk around the lake." "Thank you. Even if you can only stay with me for 5 minutes, I'll be happy," Rose said, sounding chirpier. "I'll see you tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock at Ramsey Lake." Alex suddenly remembered that he had arranged to meet with Kelly at 9 o'clock. He certainly couldn't overlap that appointment with meeting Rose. Flustered, he said, Actually, no. I don't think I can get up in time to meet at 9. He thought, I need to give myself at least an hour to talk with Kelly. After that, I can walk around the lake with Rose, and then I'll need to get quickly to the railway station to catch the train to Washington. "Okay, that's fine. We can meet at 10 o'clock, Rose said and ended the call. After hanging up, Rose felt very happy with how it had gone. She thought, if Alex is catching a train at 11 o'clock, but still wants to find time to meet me at 10, that's definitely proof that he likes me. Tomorrow, I'll make sure that I seize the opportunity and use the time available to make Alex my boyfriend. The next day, Rose went to Ramsey Lake at 8 o'clock. She saw a tall man standing by the lake. After their conversation the night before, she had spent a lot of time thinking about her best approach when she saw Alex. She had not spent much time with him and didn't know him well, but she thought he was a quiet person and maybe too shy to tell her straight out how he felt about her. She had to handle the situation carefully. She had racked her brains trying to decide how she could make Alex confess to her that he liked her. Finally, she came up with a plan. When she and Alex were walking by the lake, she would arrange for some friends to attack them, pretending to be gangsters. Then Alex would come to the rescue and save her. This happened. She was sure that Alex would then realize how he truly felt about her. Even if he found it hard to confess his true feelings, it was perfectly normal for the hero and the beautiful girl that he saved to end up together. Convinced that he was truly in love with her, she decided that as soon as she told him how she felt, he would accept her immediately. Rose approached the tall man and asked him, "Have you brought everything you need?" "Don't worry, I'm ready," the man replied. "You see, I have a black stocking to cover my head, and this is a model knife. The blade can be retracted." He showed her the props that he had prepared to use. "You mustn't see them, and you can't let him catch you straight away. You understand?" Rose told him. "Don't worry, I know what I'm doing. Remember, I'm a professional. It's my job to stage these sorts of stunts for films," he answered proudly. Okay, but before he comes, let's practice so we know exactly what we're doing. It can't go wrong, she said and turned to face the lake. I'm ready, the man said as he put the silk stocking on his head, held the model knife in his hand and crept up to Rose. He circled his arms around her neck and pointed the knife at her throat. What are you doing? Let me go. Alex, help me, she cried out in panic. Suddenly, they both heard a quivering voice shouting at the man. Hey, you! What are you doing? Let her go. I'll call the police, the voice said. Rose turned her head and squinted in the direction of the voice. She saw two beautiful girls standing about 20 yards away. It was Kelly and Sharon. When they arrived at the lake and saw a gangster with his knife against a girl's throat, they were shocked. With shaking hands, Sharon pulled out her phone to call the police. Hi, girls, stop. Don't call the police, Rose quickly called, and then said to the man who still had his arm around her neck, Let go, are you stupid? When the man let go of her, Rose ran to Kelly and Sharon and said with a smile, It's okay. You've made a mistake. He's not a gangster. We're just messing around. Rose had assumed that because it was vacation time, there would be very few people on campus, so she didn't think there would be anyone else at the lake. She certainly hadn't expected anyone else to arrive at that moment and see what they were doing. Messing around? Kelly and Sharon were a little confused. They thought the explanation was a bit strange. However, they didn't know this girl and felt that it was none of their business. Kelly smiled gently and said, Well, it was clearly a misunderstanding. We're glad you're okay. We'll leave you to it. Then, Kelly and Sharon went and sat down by the edge of the lake. Rose went back and rehearsed with the tall man several times. Then she noticed that it was almost 9 o'clock and the two girls were still sitting by the lake. They didn't seem to be leaving. She was worried because she wouldn't be able to carry out her plan with Alex later if they were still there. She walked over to them and said, Hey guys, you've been sitting here for a long time. Don't you want to go somewhere else for a walk? We're waiting for someone here, Kelly explained and smiled happily. Rose swore to herself and thought, It looks like these two girls are planning to stay here for a long time. Alex will be here soon and I need my plan to work. What can I do? Guys, my friend and I are going to keep practicing our scene later today. If anyone else comes along, please don't tell them it's not real, she said to them. What do you mean? What are you going to do? Kelly asked. She didn't understand what Rose was doing. Rose breathed out helplessly. She could think of no alternative but to explain everything to them. Exasperated, she started to explain. Well, a friend of mine wants to come over later. He likes me a lot, but he doesn't dare tell me. I just want to have someone pretend to be a robber and pick me up so my friend can play the part of the knight in shining armor. That may make him confess his love for me, Rose said to Kelly. Both Kelly and Sharon, who were sitting by the lake, were shocked. Don't be so surprised. I can't help it. This person likes me very much, but I'm too thin-skinned. I'm a girl. I can't tell him how I feel about him. Even if I wanted to confess, it would have to be in the right environment. So I asked someone to help me by playing a part. In reality, Rose didn't feel shy at all. Alex was a super rich guy, apparently with dozens of identities, and she was more than willing to go after someone like that, even if she embarrassed herself in the process. Don't you think that's deceiving him? Kelly asked in a soft voice. No, I don't think so. I know that he really likes me and I like him too. In the end, we'll be together. But the process is too long. I'm going to use this method as a catalyst, just to speed things up. How could you say that's cheating him? Rose said after thinking about it. She turned to Kelly, admiring her beauty. She could tell that she was a rich girl. Don't you have someone you like? She asked her casually. Rose's question stunned Kelly and confused her for a moment. Naturally, there was someone she liked. But he was from a much better background and was 100 times wealthier than she was. Also, he had been trying to push her aside. Of course she likes someone, and the person she likes is a rich man. Even the boss of the company is respectful toward him when he sees him, but this person does not. Seeing that Kelly hadn't said anything, Sharon had started speaking for her. But she couldn't bear to go on. All she said in the end was, "Kelly's here today to see the person she likes." Oh dear. Looking at Kelly and Sharon's troubled expressions, Rose had already guessed that something must have gone wrong between Kelly and her love interest. She grabbed her hand in sympathy. "Your eyes are red. You must have cried for that person so many times. If you don't help me now, I'm afraid I'll just have grief and sorrow like yours to look forward to. Are you sure you don't want to help me pull this off?" "Okay, but let's not talk about it." Rose's words had tugged Kelly's heartstrings. She knew that the kind of lovesickness she was suffering was too painful. She didn't want any other girl in the world to go through something like that. "Great, thank you. Kelly, if we become friends later, I'll give you an expensive car," Rose said with a smile. Kelly smiled back indifferently. She didn't care about any car. The only gift she was interested in was for the man she liked to give her a ray of hope. "Your boyfriend must be from a good family. What's his name?" she asked Rose. "He really is wealthy and from a top family. I don't mind telling you his name. It's Alex," Rose said with a smile. Alex. Both Kelly and Sharon were shocked. "You say Alex likes?" Sharon started to ask Rose if what she had said was true, but Kelly held her back. What were you going to say?" "You don't know Alex, do you?" Rose asked her. "No, we don't know him." Kelly's heart suddenly felt heavy. She thought that if she admitted that she did, she wouldn't be able to meet Alex that day. "Well, the person I want to see is coming soon. You can go and prepare for your own meeting," she said. "Okay, I won't disturb you. I wish you luck with your man," Rose said with a smile and left. "Kelly, that girl said Alex likes her," Sharon muttered, looking at Kelly anxiously. "Isn't it normal that a lot of people would like him since he's such a good man?" Kelly bit her lips, and her eyes started overflowing again. Sharon sighed and didn't know what to say. No matter how it turned out, after meeting Alex today, Kelly would have to give up on him. "Look, he's here." That moment, Sharon saw Alex coming from a distance. He was walking toward Kelly along the edge of the lake. His mood was complex and heavy. "Kelly," he called out to her. Kelly slowly turned around and saw Alex's face. She truly was infatuated. She looked at him in silence. Her eyes reflected resentment, reluctance, and helplessness, but mostly deep love. At that moment, the tall man in the bushes saw Alex and muttered in a low voice, "The boy that the beauty loves is a..." Rose, annoyed at the tall man, glanced at the lake. When she saw Alex, she did a double take. "How can it be him? How can it be him?" Rose wondered. It seemed that Alex had lied to her when he had said that he didn't want to meet her at 9 in the morning because it was too early, and he might not get up in time. But it turned out that he was seeing Kelly at 9 o'clock. Rose's heart was in shreds. Is Alex in love with that girl or with me? No, it must be me. He's been so good to me, she thought. She didn't dare to think about what sort of relationship he had with Kelly. Her heart was in turmoil. You're here. Kelly held back her tears and made herself laugh, but there was still a hint of sadness in her voice. I'm here. Are you okay? Alex thought Kelly looked haggard, and his heart softened. Good. Kelly laughed and sobbed at the same time. Thank you for coming to see me. We can stay here by the lake for a while, and then I'll invite you out to dinner later. Kelly wanted to control her voice, but since seeing Alex, she had begun to choke and tremble. Looking at her like this, Alex was really distressed and worried. He clenched his hands behind his back. No, I'm catching a train at 11 o'clock. After meeting you, I'm leaving New York, Alex said. Kelly's smile stiffened, and she asked, Is it to go to her? Yes. This one word made Kelly feel like she was falling into a void. Sharon held her and murmured, Kelly. Rose, who had overheard their dialogue, asked herself, This man? Who is this man? Who is he going to look for? He doesn't seem like himself. No, he likes me. He's not looking for anyone. That's just an excuse he's using to turn Kelly down. Alex, I want to ask you, haven't you got space in your heart for other people? Kelly already knew the answer, but she didn't want it. Kelly, 8 out of 10 things in this world bring unhappiness. You'd better think about that, Alex said with a deep sigh. Kelly closed her eyes, and 2 tears slipped out. She repeated Alex's words in whisper. 8 out of 10 things are unsatisfactory. 8 out of 10 things bring unhappiness. She opened her eyes and caught a glimpse of Rose standing under the trees. She realized that the girl had also misunderstood Alex, and an idea suddenly appeared in her mind. If there's a girl deeply in love with you who, in order to make you fall in love with her, deliberately asks someone to act out a violent scene to let you be the hero who rescues her, and later she confesses her actions to you, would you accept her? Kelly asked. She was asking for Rose and herself. No, I wouldn't, Alex replied, shaking his head. Kelly looked at Rose quietly, hoping that she had overheard Alex's words, so as not to waste her time and increase his sorrow. Rose shook her head. She still thought she was the person that he liked. If you'd met me first instead of Debbie, would you like me? Kelly asked him, remembering again what he had said about unhappiness arising in 8 cases out of 10. I don't know. Alex was stunned, as he had never thought about it. If there was no Debbie in the world, would you like me? I don't know. There's no if in the world. Alex was very confused. Kelly's tears changed into a smile, and she went over to him. I've seen the answer in your eyes. If there were no Debbie, you would like me. If you'd met me first, you wouldn't have fallen in love with Debbie. I just lost you to bad timing. Alex was stunned and didn't reply. Thank you, Kelly tearfully said with a smile. You've let me know that I'm in your heart. I'm your second favorite woman, which makes me very satisfied. Debbie? How can it be? Alex likes me. Among the trees, Rose's skull was about to explode. She didn't want to believe the conversation that was taking place between Kelly and Alex, but she felt a growing uneasiness. By then, she couldn't stop herself any longer. She wanted to ask Alex a question. Alex! Rose cried out and emerged from under the trees. But wait, you... The tall man who was hiding nearby was wondering why she had gone out without telling him. He quickly put the silk stocking over his head and prepared to carry out the task that Rose had told him. Rose? Seeing Rose appear, Alex was surprised. Alex is the person you like? Rose wanted to ask Alex whether the woman he loved was her or Debbie. But before she could finish her sentence, a hand shot out from behind her and covered her mouth. Ah, what a beautiful girl, said the tall man, following Rose's previous instructions. He tightened his hands around her neck. Let go of her! Alex was shocked, and he was about to run to the rescue. But suddenly, what Kelly had said a short while ago flashed through his mind. If there's a girl deeply in love with you who deliberately asks someone to act out a violent scene. Alex glanced at Kelly and knew that the woman she had referred to was Rose. He couldn't help but look at Rose with hatred, and then he said to Kelly, Everything between us should be settled by now. I'm leaving. With that, he nodded at Kelly and walked away. Little girl, come back to the hotel with me. The tall man was still pretending to assault Rose. Seeing Alex walk away without looking back, he also called out to him in a loud voice. Hello, I'm going to take this beautiful girl to my hotel. Let her roll on the big bed with me. What's the matter? I performed very well. The tall man looked at Alex's departing figure and asked, Rose, how come it didn't work? He released her from his grasp, and Rose slapped him in the face and then beat him up a bit more. Infuriated by her actions, he slapped her back, making her stagger and almost fall to the ground. You bitch! I'm just here to help you act out a scene. Do you eat dynamite for lunch? Do you still want to trick that handsome guy? He made it quite clear that he likes a girl named Debbie. You should be ashamed to say he loves you deeply. Aren't you disgraceful? Stupid women like you deserve to be ignored. After getting that off his chest, the tall man walked away, muttering to himself. Rose stood rooted to the spot as she realized that the girl in Alex's heart was not her, but a girl named Debbie. When she left Ramsey Lake, it was with dull eyes, like a walking corpse. Kelly didn't pay any attention to what had happened to Rose. When Alex's figure disappeared in the distance, the tears that she had been holding back finally started rolling down her cheeks. One by one, they dripped down to her chin and onto the grass. Sharon held her tightly. Watching her shake and cry inconsolably, it seemed that she was about to rupture something inside. Sharon could only pat her on the back and comfort her in a low voice. She could only hope that Kelly would forget all about Alex. At 11 o'clock, Alex got on the high-speed train to Washington, D.C. 2 hours later, he arrived. Coming out of the bustling railway station, he bought a combined bus and subway pass at the Metro subway station. He felt that with so many people taking public transport, he had more opportunities to find Debbie. With the transport card in hand, Alex immediately started his search. He took the subway according to the route he had designed on the train, from the red line over to the orange line, with a few bus rides built in, traversing the metropolitan area from Northeast Washington to Fairfax. It took Alex more than 3 hours to visit the areas. When he was on the bus, on the subway, or even walking from one bus stop to another, Alex would pay special attention to the people around him, for fear that he would brush past Debbie without noticing. He got off the train again at a subway station in Arlington. After walking for such a long time, he was hungry, and he remembered that he hadn't eaten lunch. Standing on a broad Central Avenue in the bustling suburb, he looked around for a casual place to eat. As he wandered down the street, a fragrant smell reached his nostrils. He saw a food truck with a sign advertising burgers, pancakes, and more. Beside the truck was a small cart selling vegetables. Alex remembered that when he was with Debbie, he often bought them food at a food truck. He couldn't help but walk toward it. While he was approaching, he saw a buxom girl standing behind the vehicle arguing with an old man. The closer Alex got, the more serious the quarrel became. I've given you the money. Why don't you go? Are you trying to steal my money? The girl, who was wearing an apron, cursed the old man. No, the eggs are $3 and $5, which is $15 in total. You should give me $52, $5. You only gave $45 and still owe me $7, $5. The old man was pulling the girl's leg to collect money. You ass! I've always paid $3.15 for your eggs. Take the money and go away. Stop disrupting my business, the girl said sharply. What? $3.15? That's what they cost a month ago, and prices go up. If you can't afford it, give me back the eggs and I'll sell them to somebody else. The old man tried to snatch back the carton of eggs the girl had taken. Go away, these eggs are already mine. Take the money and go. The girl kept the eggs and refused to be manipulated by him. Why are you so unreasonable? Today I won't let you have them. The old man also seemed to be in a hurry. By then, Alex had reached the food truck and stood in front of him. Hey there, beautiful, don't be so impulsive, Alex said to the girl as he pulled the old man away. This little girl is bullying me. I'm going to smash her eggs and do some damage to her food truck. Young man, let me go. The old man was so angry that he was chomping at the bit to fight with the girl. Who's bullying who? Come back here if you have the courage. If you dare to kick my truck, I'm not responsible for what I'll do to you, the girl shouted, pointing her finger at the man. Alex couldn't help but sigh as he frowned at the girl. Here, I'll give you the money she owes you. Alex thought it wasn't worth making such a fuss over a few dollars. This little girl's attitude really pisses me off. Do I care about the money? If I don't smash her snack truck today, I'll not be able to forgive myself. The old man seemed to need payback. Do you think this is okay? Look, I'll give you $100 if you forget all this and just walk away, Alex said, after thinking for a moment about how to best handle the situation. Let go of me. It's no use saying anything. Wait a minute. How much did you say? $100, Alex repeated with a smile. You're not teasing me, are you? The old man's attention was no longer on the girl. When Alex let go of him, he looked at Alex in disbelief. With a faint smile, Alex took out his mobile phone and pointed to a QR code sign on the old man's vegetable cart. Is this your payment code? I'll transfer it to you, he said, scanning the code and sending him the money. Thank you. You're so bright. The old man bowed to Alex and took some carrots and lettuce from the cart and pressed them into his arms. Take these. They're all from my own farm. After Alex declined, the old man happily pushed his cart over to a beat-up car, hooked it up, drove away. Why did you help me? The girl asked, staring at Alex. For no reason in particular. You shouldn't bully him, you know, Alex replied with a trace of solemnity. For the first time, he got a good look at the girl's face. Her short hair was scorched, her skin was discolored, and there were scars on her face. It looked like she might have been in a fire. There was also some inflammation and a few open sores. In other words, she was really ugly. You seem to enjoy bullying him. What's wrong with you? Alex said to her, making the girl angry. Okay, forget it, he added, sighing. It seemed that the girl had a bad temper. I'd better stop talking to her, he thought. Make me a pancake with ham and shredded potatoes on the side, he said. I won't, the girl flatly refused. You won't make it for me? I didn't provoke you. Alex was really angry. He had helped her out, and now he just wanted her to make him a pancake. Her attitude was atrocious. You cared about me. I love what you did, but I won't do anything I don't want to do. She seemed to think there was nothing wrong with her reaction. Okay. Alex didn't want to talk to her anymore. He was tired from walking. He tore a piece of paper from a notebook in his backpack and put it on the curb, where he sat down in a huff to have a rest. He sat on the curb for 20 minutes. During that period, 5 or 6 passers-by came to buy food from the girl. He observed that when she took the eggs, her eyes flashed. It seemed that she thought that she had the eggs thanks to his help. He felt that she might have repented a little.
By then, he had rested enough and was ready to take the bus to other places to continue his search, but his stomach was growling. He stood up, went over to the girl, and said politely, "Please, could you make me a pancake now?" "Go away." She acted like a cat whose tail had been trampled on. "Why are you so shameless? Get out of here. Don't let me see you again. I'd feed the pancakes to a dog before giving you any." "I just want to eat a pancake. What have you got against me?" "What's wrong with you? I know I'm not good looking. Do you want to continue poking fun at me? Believe it or not, if you call me beautiful again, I'll take this pan and hit you over the head," she said angrily. Alex was stunned. In school, no matter how beautiful or ugly the girls were, or how old they were, they called them all beautiful. Alex had just said that earlier out of habit. But realizing that the girl mistakenly thought that he had been mocking her, he felt very ashamed. "I'm sorry, I didn't mean to mock you. I'm a college student. In school, it's a term we use for everybody. Anyway, I'm obviously not what you think," Alex said in his apology. "Really?" The girl saw his sincerity and felt less angry. "Okay, I believe you, but I hate it when people comment on others' looks. People are born with their appearance. You're good looking. All I can say to you is that you're lucky and have no right to laugh at others." Alex had been ridiculed as a loser many times, and he could understand the girl's mood. "Well, as you can see, I'm not qualified to laugh at you when I dress like this." Alex wore a very ordinary outfit. He didn't own many good clothes. In addition, he had been walking at top speed for more than 3 hours, so he was sweaty and covered in dust. He looked like a poor little loser. The girl laughed. Alex's words had reached her heart. She looked at him intently and said with a smile, "You are a little loser." "Hey, beautiful. Hey, girl, are you not angry with me anymore?" Seeing her smile, he relaxed a little. "If you don't laugh at me, why should I be angry at you?" the girl said as she glanced at him. "That's good to hear. If you're busy, I'll leave you to it." Alex waved his hand and started walking away. "Wait, don't you want pancakes?" "You'll make them for me?" Alex asked in surprise. The girl didn't answer. She had already scooped a ladle full of batter from a bowl, poured it onto the grill, and made it around with the back of a spoon. Alex's heart warmed up, and he walked back to the food truck's counter. An appetizing aroma reached him. "You're a very skilled cook, and they smell delicious," he said to her. "There's nothing to it. If you go to a training class for a couple of days, you can learn how to make them. But if you don't develop the skills, so much the better for me. It keeps me from starving to death," the girl said while flipping the pancakes. "Don't you have someone taking care of you at home?" Alex thought her comment was very strange. Although the girl was ugly, she didn't look any older than 17 or 18. She didn't go to school, as she worked at a food truck. Her family was too irresponsible. "I don't have a family," she said faintly as her expression soured. Alex was surprised. Although he was very curious, he felt that she didn't want to talk about it, so he didn't ask. "Do you want syrup?" The girl was fast and efficient, and in about a minute, pancakes were nearly ready. Alex nodded, and she poured some syrup over them. "By the way, you don't look very rich. How come you gave that old man $100? Alex felt that there was no point in hiding anything from her, so he said, "I am rich. I just don't dress well. $100 means nothing to me." "Oh, you little loser. As soon as you've made a good impression, you start to brag, right? Okay, aren't you rich? I'll give you the pancakes for free." "Do you believe me or not?" Alex asked. He didn't need to prove anything to the girl. After a few mouthfuls, he solved the problem of payment by sweeping up around the food truck. "What's your name? Do you work here?" the girl asked. "My name is Alex, and I've come to Washington to find my girlfriend," he said. "Your name is not a good name," said the girl, puzzling Alex. What's wrong with my name? He wondered. My name is Nellie Lane. I hope you can find your girlfriend soon. Alex waved goodbye to Nellie and set off to look for Debbie. By 7 in the evening, Alex had not come across any trace of her. But he wasn't discouraged. The Washington, D.C. area was huge, so he knew it wouldn't be easy to find someone. Before setting off on his trip, he had already prepared himself for a protracted search. He ate a meal, and as soon as it was dark, he was ready to find a hotel for the night. Alex walked into the Crown Hotel next to the train station. He thought it was a bit too luxurious, but there weren't that many people around, and he liked the quiet. A receptionist approached him while he was still at the door. Hello, sir. Are you staying in our hotel? The man asked with a smile. The Crown was one of the top hotels in D.C., and it was conveniently located near the train station. It was much more expensive than the other establishments in the area. As soon as the receptionist noticed Alex's clothes, he realized that this was not the kind of person they catered to. Subtly, he told them, if the manager sees someone walking around the lobby who is not a guest at the hotel, he will probably ask that person to leave, as otherwise it affects our image. The receptionist thought that Alex would get the message and that he was helping him to avoid embarrassment if he couldn't afford to pay for a room. He thought that Alex should understand what he meant. I want to get a room, Alex said with a smile and walked in. The receptionist was slightly stunned. He looked at Alex but decided that when he saw the prices, he would leave in dismay anyway. The lobby of the hotel was really splendid. It reeked of money. The people walking around were beautifully dressed. At first glance, they seemed to be successful business people. Alex looked at his reflection in a mirror and realized that he didn't fit in with the surroundings. He smiled to himself. Although the hotel looked good, it wasn't as grand as Sam's Berkeley Hotel. Alex was thinking of heading to the front desk to check in when he heard a voice behind him. Alex? He looked in the direction the voice was coming from and saw a beautiful woman with long hair down to her shoulders and uncertainty wrote on her face. She was wearing a cream-colored one-piece suit and 3-inch heels. She looked clean and well put together. Beside her stood a tall man. Alex frowned as he couldn't remember who she was. It really is you, Alex, the woman said in surprise after she got a better look at him. Are you Miriam Henley? When she smiled, Alex recognized her. She was his high school hall monitor. I didn't expect to find you here. Alex was surprised to run into her in Washington and immediately walked over to his old friend. In high school, because he had been very poor, most of his classmates had looked down on him. Like at university, he was often ridiculed. Only a few students had gotten along well with him. Miriam had been one of them. Alex remembered that she would often tutor him in his senior year, and her academic support helped him get into Preston University. He walked over to her and reached out to shake her hand, but Miriam didn't acknowledge the gesture. He pulled his hand back angrily. You're looking fantastic. I almost didn't recognize you. You're much more beautiful than you were in high school, Alex said with a smile. You mean I didn't look good in high school? Miriam said with a snort and sneered. Alex was stunned by the hostility in her words and felt that she had changed a lot. I didn't mean that. I mean, you were beautiful in high school and now you're even more beautiful. You really can talk, she said sarcastically. I didn't expect that you would become so glib after spending a couple of years in New York. Alex was speechless, but he smiled. You're in college, right? He asked, changing the subject. He had not seen her since graduating from high school and had no idea what she'd been up to. Alex's question instantly put her in a bad mood. During the college entrance examination, Miriam had become increasingly irritated because the ink wasn't flowing properly from her pen As a result, she failed mathematics and didn't do well in English either. And because of that, she lost her chance to get into the colleges of her choice. Miriam had heard people saying behind her back that she was spending every day teaching Alex how to answer the exam questions. In the end, she lost out, and Alex made it into Preston University. It was said at the time that she was a fool and had given her scores to him. Miriam hated the classmates who had said those words, but she couldn't help but feel resentment toward Alex. She felt that she was the one who should have gone to Preston. Alex had stolen her university from her. Lower East College, are you satisfied? Miriam sneered at Alex and told him again that she thought he was being deliberately sarcastic. What college? Alex was surprised. He thought that Miriam had been admitted to a top university. Where's Lower East College? I've never heard of it, he thought. One of the two worst. Are you satisfied? Does that make you happy? Miriam sneered. What are you talking about? Miriam, how could I be happy? Are you misunderstanding me? He thought that Miriam's reaction was abnormal. She was the one who had offered to help him in high school. He hadn't forced her to do it. You thief, you're just pretending, Miriam said bitterly. Thinking that her future had been destroyed by Alex, her heart was still bleeding. Alex was left speechless again. He was sure that Miriam had misunderstood him. At this point, he knows what to say. What are you doing here? Is this where you're staying? Don't you feel like you ought to get going? Miriam said coldly. She had heard about Alex from some former classmates. He was considered a lousy loser at Preston University. What's he doing in a fine hotel like this? She wondered. Alex sighed heavily. Miriam's tone was too hateful. Obviously, I came to the hotel to book a room. A room? Miriam laughed. Alex, look at your clothes. This is way out of your budget. You obviously didn't go home for summer vacation. Did you come all the way from New York to Washington to find work here? I've heard from other students that you pay for your living expenses by working during your vacations. How much money can you earn by working 2 months? $4,000, $5,000? Is that the sort of money you earn? Do you know how much it costs to stay at the Crown Hotel for one night? Miriam looked at him contemptuously. 4,000 or 5,000? What's wrong with that? Alex said faintly, thinking how unpleasant Miriam was. In New York, he stayed at the Berkeley Hotel and at the Azalea Guest House, which was more expensive than the Crown. Oh, you seem so relaxed. It seems that $4,000 or $5,000 doesn't mean anything to you. This hotel is really cheap for you, isn't it? The cheapest room is actually only $2,000. Miriam assumed that Alex was in Washington to find work, which proved that he didn't have much money. He clearly didn't have any idea of the prices of the hotel, and there was no way he was going to be able to afford a room. Baby, who is this guy? The man beside Miriam asked her. He was wearing a white t-shirt and blue jeans. He looked like a hip-hop singer. He was Miriam's boyfriend, Jake Grant. This guy? Miriam sneered. She looked at Alex with a terrible smile in her eyes. He's the high school classmate I told you about who stole my college dream. In high school, he was a lousy loser. Often, all he ate was bread in the morning, at noon, and in the evening. He was so poor that he didn't even have the money to buy notebooks. In order to save paper, he used pencils instead of pens, so he could erase what he wrote and reuse the pages. He could also write in the front and back covers. So it turns out that this is the guy you've complained to me about so often, Jake said to Miriam, pointing at Alex in surprise. He looked him up and down and snorted contemptuously. Miriam gave you every opportunity to attend a good university. I see that you're dressed appallingly, so you don't look like you're doing too well at college. You're such a disappointment to Miriam. Don't you feel guilty? What? Alex didn't understand the meaning of Miriam gave you every opportunity to attend a good university. He didn't want to be near Miriam anymore, so he went over to the front desk. "I'd like to see how you pay," Miriam muttered, as she and Jake followed behind him. "Hello, I'd like one of your better rooms, please," Alex said to the receptionist. "Well, I can offer you a large, elegant room with a king-sized bed. Would that be all right?" Although the front desk lady also had her doubts about Alex, she was polite, and Alex nodded. "Sir, the price of the room is $2,300 a night." The front desk lady motioned for Alex to pay up front. "If he can afford it, I'm seeing flying saucers," Miriam said. She and Jake had walked up beside Alex. They looked at him with wicked smiles, and Miriam turned to the receptionist. "I would advise you to be more perceptive about people who come up to you, so as not to waste everyone's time. Because otherwise you can spend a lot of time talking to someone, and then it turns out they don't have the money to pay." The front desk lady could only reply with a weak smile. Alex was getting angrier and angrier. He stared at Miriam for several seconds. "Look, are you taking the room or not? We're waiting to check in. Will you hurry up?" Miriam glared back at Alex. Alex couldn't help sneering. "Okay. Didn't you say I couldn't afford a room? I'll get the most expensive room for today, just because of you. After all, I have my First Republic bank card, and it has millions of dollars on it." "Miss, please give me the most expensive room you have here," Alex said to the lady at the desk. The receptionist was stunned. She doubted that Alex could afford to pay for the elegant room with the king-sized bed, let alone the most expensive one. "Sir, in fact, the elegant room is also quite wonderful. Have you heard that, Alex? The front desk lady doesn't believe your lies, yet you're threatening to book the most expensive room here. You're going to make us die laughing," Miriam sneered. "You'd better see if you can afford the elegant room first." "This man is really out of his mind, miss. I think you'd better ask the security guard to come over and remove him from the premises," Jake said with a smile. The front desk lady decided that if Alex was deliberately messing with her, she would call security. Alex didn't say anything. He removed his backpack, took out a card wallet, pulled out his First Republic bank card, put it between his fingers, and extended it to the front desk lady. "Can you give me my key now?" "Alex, don't be foolish. You've come to DC for work. Don't you realize that if you stay here for just one night, you'll spend half your earnings? You're so stupid. I really don't understand how you got into Preston University," Miriam said. Seeing the card in Alex's hand, the front desk lady was shocked. She was familiar with the various bank cards and recognized the First Republic Bank Black Card. The only people who got that card were those with $30 million in their personal accounts, which meant that the young man in front of her was worth at least that. "Sir, I was being impolite. I'll handle it for you now. I'd like to tell you about the most luxurious presidential suite in our hotel. It has 2 king-sized beds." "Hello, miss. What are you doing?" Miriam didn't understand why the woman's attitude had changed so much. Jake held her back. He had also seen the First Republic bank card in Alex's hand, and he was flustered. "What's the matter?" Miriam was still a college student and didn't know anything about that prestigious card. The card in his hand is the First Republic Bank Black Card. You only qualify for one of those when you have a minimum of $30 million in your account. He's not a poor loser, but a multimillionaire. Who told you to scold him just now? Now what can you do?" Jake was rattled and suddenly quite shy. "Oh." Miriam was surprised, and her heart skipped a beat. How could she have guessed that Alex would have millions of dollars to his name? She was deeply worried when she thought about how rude she had been to him just now. When she saw Jake looking at her reproachfully, she said in a low voice, "Why are you looking at me like that? How could I have known that he had so much money?" Jake stared at her. He stealthily glanced at Alex. Seeing that he wasn't looking, Jake quietly pulled on Miriam's sleeve and signaled to her to leave quietly with him. They walked away cautiously as if they were thieves to avoid attracting Alex's attention. But Alex wasn't blind. He didn't know what they were doing. He just didn't want to argue with them. "There is no need to tell me anything more. I'll just take the room," Alex said to the receptionist. "Okay, I'll set it up for you right now." The lady took Alex's card and began to swipe it. She suddenly raised her head and said, "Sir, your card can't be used." Alex was shocked, as were Miriam and Jake, who were still within hearing distance. "Could you please try it again?" Alex remembered that he had used the card that very afternoon to pay $100 to the man who had been bothering the Pancake girl, and it had worked just fine. "Really, sir, I've tried it 3 times. Your card just can't be used. It shows that your account has been frozen." The front desk lady put the bank card on the counter. "Do you have any other cards I can run through?" "Just a moment." Alex had no other cards. He took out his cell phone to call the manager of First Republic Bank to ask what was going on. Seeing that Alex's card was useless, Miriam and Jake looked at each other and stopped walking away. "Hello, manager. What's wrong with my card?" "Oh, Mr. Ambrose, I'm really sorry. 2 hours ago, I received a message from your family asking for all your funds to be frozen, so," Robert Miller said in a conversational tone. Alex was puzzled. He couldn't understand why his family had frozen his account again. "Do you want a room, sir?" asked the receptionist. "Please wait a moment," Alex replied politely. He was just about to call Ken Stokes to ask what was going on when he received a call from Ken. "Mr. Ambrose, your family's not happy with the large-scale use of family resources to search for Miss Debbie Stonehill. The family called and said that I should suspend the search for Miss Debbie. They also said that you shouldn't waste your time on useless things. That you should go back to New York to manage your business. They said that if you don't listen, you will not be able to use a cent of the family's assets." "That's ridiculous. Looking for Debbie is the most important thing in the world to me. If that's how the family feels, let him feel that way." Alex gave a cold smile. "Mr. Ambrose, please think about it carefully. If you continue to search for Miss Debbie in person, none of the family members, including me, will give you any help. If you come back here, although I can no longer use the full resources of the East Coast Division to help you find her, I can use 1/5 of the resources and the family will not say anything. That's better and more effective than you looking for Miss Debbie alone," Ken said. "Well, thank you for your kindness, Mr. Stokes, but I still want to continue searching for Debbie myself," Alex said calmly. "In that case, I hope you find her as soon as possible. Maybe in the future, when you call again, your subordinates might not answer the phone," Ken said with a sigh. Alex ended the call. "Alex, how did your call go?" Miriam had already walked back with Jake triumphantly. Although she couldn't understand the references to family and Debbie or anything, she knew that Alex couldn't pay the room fee. Alex rummaged through his backpack to see if there was any cash he could take out. But he went through it twice and found only about a couple of $100. He sighed and thought it would be better if he traveled with more cash on him. "Well, miss, I'll not be staying here. Excuse me." Alex felt embarrassed as he put the card away in his bag. "Didn't you just say that $4,000 or $5,000 meant nothing to you? That you had to stay in the most expensive presidential suite?" Miriam said with a sneer. "I thought he really had a First Republic Bank black card. It turned out to be a fake. He took out the card, even though he knew it couldn't be used. I was really surprised at his low IQ," Jake said, no longer flustered. "Why are you still here if you haven't got money? Don't you think you should leave? Or do you really want the hotel security to come over and chase you out?" Miriam said in a loud voice. Alex didn't want to quarrel with Miriam in the hotel. He put on his backpack. With Miriam and Jake sneering at him, he walked out of the Crown Hotel. Oh, he's finally left. As I tried to say before, that loser should develop a bit of self-awareness. How dare he come rushing in here pretending that he belonged? The receptionist by the entrance door muttered scornfully at Alex's departing figure. Out on the street, Alex realized that he would have to rely on his strengths to find Debbie. However, when he thought about how much time they'd been together, he knew he had to keep his spirits up. God would guide them to meet. Alex didn't feel that sad. Handsome boy, do you want to stay in our hotel? Out of nowhere, a woman came up to him holding a sign that said, accommodations. Alex knew that he had less than $200 on him. He thought it would be a good idea to go with this woman and save some money. Okay, Alex nodded. Come with me, the woman said. Young man, your accent tells me you're not from around here. Have you come to Washington looking for work? She asked, leading him through the crowd. Alex was speechless. Why did everyone think he was a wage earner? What the hell? He decided and answered, yes. Do you have any friends or relatives here? No. Then you're very brave coming to Washington without any support. She looked back at him and laughed. By then, she was leading him through a badly lit street. Are we near? Alex suddenly felt a little uneasy. The place was so dark that it seemed dangerous. We're almost there. It's not a fancy place. We only charge $25 a night. You know, in the Crown Hotel opposite the railway station, they charge $2,000 or $3,000 a night. As soon as she looked at Alex's face, she knew what he was thinking. By the way, do you have money? A little, but not much. Alex refrained from asking her how much she had. Oh, are you afraid that I'll rob you of your money? She smiled. They were walking through an alley where 3 older women with heavy makeup were hanging out. They started teasing him. Handsome boy, are you coming to play? Hey you, do you like my sister? Hey cutie, how about coming into my house and doing some business? Even though Alex had no experience in that field, he knew that these women were... Well, madam, I think we'll forget all about it. Thank you. Alex felt that the situation was not good and wanted to leave. Hey, you're scared. But I don't have these sorts of people around. My place only has serious guests. The woman took Alex by the hand. Okay, Alex nodded. The woman had already accompanied him from the train station area, and it didn't seem appropriate to turn his back on her. As long as she ran a serious place, he would stay there. They soon arrived, and he followed her in. He was surprised when he saw 5 or 6 women perched on a sofa by the door. They were all in their 20s or 30s and were dressed like the hookers they had walked past in the alley. But you said... Alex looked at the woman. Oh, what's the matter? Although I have all this here, I didn't say I'd let you play. You just get a room for sleeping in. Give me your ID card, she prevaricated. No, I'd better find another place. I'm sorry. Alex didn't dare spend the night there. He was ready to leave. Well, young man, are you deliberately teasing me? I've come with you all the way from the train station. If you'd told me earlier that you wouldn't want to stay, I wouldn't have brought you, she said viciously with a smile and pointed in the direction of the station. It's not that I've changed my mind. It's that you didn't tell me the truth. I wouldn't feel comfortable staying here. I'm sorry, I'm going. Alex tried to leave, but she held onto his arm. Stinky boy, what's the matter? If you come in through my door, don't plan on just walking out. Finally, the woman was showing her true face. She called out, Hey, Bert, come out. There's someone who's trying to run away. Who dares run away? A man in his 40s came into the room. He was bald, nearly naked with a big beer belly and a dragon tattooed on his chest. Alex was afraid that he had fallen into a den of thieves. "Well, young man, you didn't think I told you the truth? Then I'll tell you the truth now," the woman said with a sneer. "They don't charge a lot. You just do as I tell you. Tomorrow morning I'll let you leave safely without a word." "Do you want money?" "I'll give you $100 and I'll leave. Is that all right?" Alex didn't want to have anything more to do with these people, and he was willing to spend $100 to get out. "No. If you go to the police should have cause to arrest you first." Alex was speechless. He didn't dare give her the money now. "Young man, you've said that you were willing to give me $100 for nothing." The procuress winked at the handsome boy. "Come on, don't be shy. I know what you're thinking. I promise that if you give me 1 minute, I'll make you turn into a beast and make you emperor once again. So you better promise me." The procuress smiled at him. "This has been done many times before. Don't be afraid." "No, I'm not comfortable with this. I'm gonna leave," Alex said. The more he looked at the women on the sofa, the more disgusted he felt. Their frivolous words made Alex feel especially nauseous. He didn't want to stay there for a moment longer, so he pushed the woman aside, opened the door, and went out. Ouch! When Alex pushed the woman, he staggered and nearly fell down. "Bert, quick, catch that boy!" Her husband didn't expect Alex to be so stubborn. He spat and ran out of the house immediately and grabbed Alex's jacket. "Do you want to start a fight with me? Will you stay here tonight or not?" Bert asked him. Alex didn't feel afraid of him. He had destroyed 2 criminal gangs in New York, the Azure Dragon Society and the Flag Sect. This lady's husband seemed no more than a common gangster. "I advise you to leave me alone right now, otherwise..." "Otherwise what? You're a poor working man. What do you think you're doing? Believe it or not, no one is going to come looking for you in Washington," the man said threateningly. Alex didn't need to talk to him anymore. His fists were clenched and ready to smash him in the nose. He was strong enough to deal with this middle-aged man. "Let him go!" Suddenly, a sharp rebuke rang out. Alex, the man and his wife, and the 6 all looked in the direction of the sound. A small figure appeared in the dark alleyway. Seeing her face, Alex was shocked. It was Nellie, the girl he had met selling pancakes from a food truck. "What are you doing screaming at me?" Bert yelled at her. "Let him go!" Nellie ignored the insult. Her attention was on Alex. "Bert, don't pay any mind to the ugly girl. Take this boy into the house," the procuress said. "You stinky woman!" Nellie shouted at her. "Girl, do you want to die?" And several of the girls around him also began to scold her. "Look at your clumsy appearance. How do you dare go out and face people? Not only are you ugly, but you stink. Go find yourself a boyfriend to talk to. If you don't outgrow your looks, you're not even going to be able to go shopping without scaring everyone you meet." Nellie glared at them fiercely, then snorted, and then looked at the lady's husband. "Let him go, or I'll report you to the police. So what are you waiting for?" "Girl, you don't want to live, do you?" The procuress rolled up her sleeves and strode over to Nellie. "Do you still want to call the police?" Before Alex had a chance to react, Nellie spoke again. "I'll call the newspaper." She raised her head. Her face was blushed, but there was no fear in her eyes. "Not only do you run a prostitution ring, but you've added the crime of beating someone. I doubt you'll be able to escape the police net. I won't give up without suing you." "Do you think I'm afraid of them? How do you think I could be working here for such a long time if I were afraid of the police?" the procuress roared. The group gathered around her. "So you're not afraid of the police? How strong is your protection?" Nellie asked. "This is all I have to say. If you don't let him go, I'll report you at the police station. And I want to add that if the police come,
You will not be the only one to have bad luck. All the people on this street will be taken away with you. Nellie was proving to be quite fearless. The procuress glanced at her husband, who looked embarrassed. She didn't know how to end this situation. Bert, let the boy go. Don't ruin the business of the whole street. We're all the same here. We rely on the railway station, which brings in many people, Bert said. Nellie was determined to save Alex, and they also began to persuade the lady and her husband to let him go. Bert bit his lips, sighed deeply, gave Alex a hard shove, and pushed him away. Go away, and never come back here again. Let's go back inside. He had never witnessed such an ugly scene in his neighborhood, and he was afraid that the stubborn girl really would report them. Although the madam had no choice but to give up on Alex, when the madam of the rest of the group all went back, only Alex and Nellie were left in the alley. Thank you, Alex said to Nellie, as he was deeply grateful for her performance just then. She stared at him and her lips tightened. She raised her hand and prepared to face, but he quickly grabbed her hand to stop her. Why are you me? Alex asked with surprise. She shook her hand vigorously. He noticed her embarrassment. It seemed that if he didn't give her a fight, she wouldn't be happy. You want to fight? He let go of her, stood in place, and closed his eyes. She didn't show any mercy and slapped him twice. You're so cruel, he said. Have you never heard of this saying about suffering a loss can turn into a blessing? I can't suffer losses. I don't want to be bullied. I've been bullied enough, so I try not to let others bully me, but I'm still... She couldn't help but become emotional as the tears rolled down her cheeks. She lowered her head. Are you all right? He didn't expect that his simple sentence would make her cry. He was overcome with shame and pain. What's wrong with me? I won't cry then. I'll laugh when I'm ridiculed by you bad guys. She raised her head and laughed twice, but her eyes were still watery, which made her look so sad. What do you mean by that look? She said as she glared at Alex. Suddenly she smiled. This afternoon, I didn't mean to be offensive by saying that $100 is a small amount of money for you. How come a rich person like you has to come and live in this kind of place? I have a problem, he said, laughing. He wanted to explain it, but it would be pointless. You'll blow it, she said with a smile. How come you were in this neighborhood? He asked with curiosity. I came to the train station to find people to work for me. I didn't expect to see you outside, though, little. Because you helped me out this afternoon, I've helped you back. I knew I shouldn't have come here, she said. Thank you again. Are you really a pancake seller? He asked, looking puzzled. Are you not convinced that I sell pancakes? She said as she pursed her lips. As she saw him smile apologetically, she added, I bought a food truck by myself, which I use to sell mostly soft drinks, ice cream, burgers, hot dogs, and pancakes. I can't do it all alone. I came to the station to see if there's anyone who's come looking for work in Washington. Ah, he nodded. But there should be few people willing to do this job. I think you're quite suitable for the job. You can come with me. She stared at him and said, I've helped you so much. What's wrong with the idea of you working for me? Would you like to work with me? He looked at her for a moment. It must be hard for her to sell pancakes, he thought. He couldn't bear to refuse to help her. I'll first listen to your working conditions. I'll pay you $300 at the end of the month, and you can have some pancakes to eat during the day, she said happily. Really? The pay sounds okay at $300, he said. Can a pancake seller like Nellie make this? He wondered. It's not bad work. I can make a living with my food truck.
Plus, I get to have pancakes and burgers to eat. You can watch the truck for me. In the end, Alex agreed to help Nellie sell food. Now that he had no financial resources, he had to find a job. She also said that her food truck had to be driven all over Washington, D.C., which would also help him in his search for Debbie. That night, she took him back to her place. He didn't stay in the food truck, but rented a room for $125. The next day, Alex drove the food truck with Nellie to sell food in different parts of the city. The truck operated as a small shop. She was responsible for cooking as well as buying milk, eggs, and other staples. Alex was responsible for selling the food and drinks from the shelves of the truck. Their daily business was good, with earnings of $50 to $60 per day. One day, Alex noticed that the bracelet on his left wrist was moving. Grandma in New York was contacting him. His index finger swayed left and right 3 times, which meant that he hadn't sent her a chicken. Grandma knew that he had left without her permission, and she was angry. Alex felt that if he continued wearing the bracelet, he would feel confused, so he simply took it off and put it in his pocket. His finger was suddenly yanked again, and when he looked down at it, he saw that some of his skin had been scratched. Over the next 10 days, Alex and Nellie continued working together, and their relationship grew closer. However, he had not found any news about Debbie. One day, Alex and Nellie stopped at Tilly's Square with the food truck. After the morning rush hour, the number of customers gradually decreased. He told her that he was going to go for a walk. She knew that he was going to go and look for his girlfriend. So she told him that if he wasn't back by noon, she would deduct $75 from his wages. Looking at him from a distance, she sighed, sat in the food truck, and watched television. When it was nearly 11:30, she was still absorbed with the television show when she heard a voice in front of her. "Hey, girl, make me 2 pancakes." Her heart caught on fire. She looked up and saw a man and a woman standing in front of her. The woman was dressed casually in white clothes and wore sunglasses and a brown sun hat. The tall, strong man was dressed in black and looked like a gym coach. "What are you looking at? I'm starving," the man yelled at her. "Honey, do you think she looks clean?" the woman in white muttered. "There's nowhere else to eat in this rundown square. Let's buy some food to cushion our stomachs," the man said, as he put his arms around the woman's waist. Nellie looked at them angrily, and then quickly made the pancakes. She handed them to the couple and said, "That'll be $5. "I'll pay you next time," the man said, and turned to leave with the woman. "I have a small business here. You'd better pay it now," Nellie said politely, suppressing her anger. "Don't you see that I'm playing a game? Are you really going to lose that much money because of your 2 lousy pancakes?" the man said. The woman was ready to leave. Nellie's face turned red. She called out, "Wait a minute. I forgot to add onion to your pancakes. I'll add it now." "Dear, you forgot how to make pancakes. You really are a genius." The couple returned and handed the pancakes back to her. They looked at their phones and nodded at Nellie. "This time they'll be okay." 2 minutes later, she gave them back to the man, who cursed and walked away with the woman. Nellie took out her phone and called Alex. "Where are you? You need to come back right away. I want to go." "Ah, you want to go?" Alex was very puzzled. Previously, each time they had stopped at a place, they had stayed there for the whole day. Why was she changing her routine? Since half the day had gone by anyway. He agreed and began walking back to the truck. As he went across a lawn with a sprinkler, Alex accidentally stepped into some mud and slipped. Half of his body was covered in mud, but he couldn't deal with the mess because he had to go back. Nellie had packed up the food truck, and she was waiting for Alex to return so they could leave. She stood outside looking around anxiously for him, but she couldn't see him. Instead, she saw the man in black and the woman in white coming toward her. She was startled. She had taken the couple's pancakes and squeezed in some shoe polish from a tube as revenge for abusing her and not paying what they owed. She had thought she could leave before they found out, but they had returned too soon. "You're so that you don't want to live, right?" said the man. They had already walked up to Nellie. Their lips were stained black with shoe polish. "What do you want? Don't move or I'll call someone." Nellie stared at the man, fearing that he might hit her. He was talking nonsense and sounded frightening. "Girl, do you have someone to help you? You should call your relatives and friends. Don't you believe me?" the man said to Nellie with a mouthful of shoe polish. "Honey, look, this is the polish. You should make her eat it." The woman had found the shoe polish in the food truck and walked toward the man. Nellie was crying, but it didn't stop them. The man sneered at the woman and said, "Honey, let's start to squeeze it out." Nellie gesticulated violently, raised a foot, and the woman screamed and fell to the ground. The man let go of Nellie and went to help the woman. He helped up the woman and turned to Nellie with a cold face. He walked up to her with clenched fists. "My friends are coming soon. There are so many of them that you won't know how to fight them all. You should go." Nellie retreated slowly. She would have run away, but her food truck was still there. "Alex, come quickly," Nellie cried out in horror as she saw him in the distance. "What are you doing?" Alex saw a man preparing to fight Nellie. He ran quickly to help her. "Oh." Hunter looked back at Alex. Alex had already reached Nellie and pulled her behind him. He gently comforted her. "Don't be afraid." "Are you her boyfriend?" Hunter asked with a sneer. He looked at Nellie, who was hiding behind Alex. Seeing Alex covered in mud, Hunter didn't care about him at all. "We aren't lovers. You shouldn't say such nonsense. What did she do wrong?" Alex, whose mind had been on Debbie, wanted to make sure there were no misunderstandings. He wanted to solve this situation as soon as possible. "I think you're going to be single all your life," sneered the woman. "You be quiet." Alex couldn't help but glance at Nellie and saw a painful look in her eyes. He knew that the woman's words had hurt her self-esteem. "She's in big trouble, so get out of the way and stop meddling," Hunter said. When Hunter finished speaking, Alex grasped Nellie behind him more tightly, and his heart softened. "Sir, we were wrong about this matter. I'll apologize on her behalf, and I'll compensate you with $150. Let's forget everything that happened today. What do you think?" Alex guessed that it must have been something the other party had said that had infuriated Nellie. She would have reacted in that way, but it would be better to resolve the problem if he could. "I'm from the Marvel family. Do you think I care about your money?" Hearing that Alex was still protecting Nellie, Hunter became angry. He said rudely, "I'm a bodyguard. I usually practice in the fight hall. I'll give you 3 seconds to think about it. If you don't get out of the way, I'll you both." "Young man, don't try to be brave. He's quite an expert in martial arts," said the woman. 3, 2... Hunter gritted his teeth and started to count down. Alex just stood in front of him and looked at him quietly. 1, exclaimed the man. "I'll get you." Alex looked at Hunter's fist and wanted to dodge to the side. He unexpectedly felt a force behind him that pushed him aside. Ouch! It was Nellie who had pushed Alex away. Since the target of Hunter's attack had been pushed out of his path, he had nothing to hit. He bent down and howled bitterly. "Run!" Nellie took the opportunity to rush over to Alex and pull him away. She thought he was a useless student. "Don't you want to protect your food truck?" Alex asked. The truck might be smashed by Hunter. Nellie's life wasn't easy. If the truck was damaged,
What would she do for a living? No, just run, Nellie yelled to Alex. I see where you're going. Hunter, get it quickly. Unexpectedly, the woman, who had sharp reflexes, had grabbed Alex and Nellie. You! Hunter had already straightened up and rushed over to her. Hunter grabbed Nellie's shoulders with both hands. Suddenly, Hunter saw a shadow on his right side. He turned his head and saw a foot coming toward him. Nellie opened her eyes and was surprised to see that it was Alex who had kicked him. Alex pulled her to his side. Stop it. I don't want to fight you. I have something to say. Alex frowned and looked at him. He knew that the more he fought, the more complicated the situation would become. Hunter felt that Alex wasn't as simple as he had imagined. Maybe he wasn't the right opponent for him? He was already feeling timid. He was an arrogant man, and if he left like this, his reputation would be in tatters. Hey, if you pay me $300, I'll go. Hunter also wanted to find a way out for himself, but Alex raised his hand, and with a whoosh sound, a bunch of Hunter's hair fell off. He was shocked. If you don't leave, Alex said faintly, holding a blade between his fingers. You did this to me? Hunter went numb as he was scared out of his mind. He quickly said, Yes, I'll go now. He walked to the woman and started pulling her away. Oh, what's the matter with you? Now you're so scared of him? Where are you going? Go and that man for me. The woman had not seen Alex's flying blades. There was another whoosh sound, and part of the woman's sun hat was seared off by a blade. She was scared and sweating, so Hunter no longer needed to convince her to leave. She ran to him in her high-heeled shoes and said, Hunter, what are you still doing here? Let's go. Seeing them disappear, Alex turned his head to ask Nellie if she was hurt. Before he could say anything, he saw that she was staring at him with a smile. He was embarrassed by her gaze and asked, What do you want me to do? I didn't expect you to be so good at defending yourself. Why didn't you say so earlier? I didn't have to be afraid of those two. Nellie's tone sounded like a reproach. You never asked me. What can I tell you? Seeing her manner, he knew that she had not been hurt. His heart was wide open. He thought it was very funny when he heard her question. Well, don't you blame me for not asking, right? Now tell me about all the things I haven't asked you so that you won't get into trouble next time, she said rudely. You're too overbearing. It's private, so how can I tell you? Alex said. I'm overbearing? What's the matter with you? You're not going to tell me? Well, in that case, I'll deduct from your salary. I'll deduct $30 first, she said, doing things in her unruly way. Okay, I'll tell you. I've told you things before. Alex was speechless. He knew that she had strong self-esteem and couldn't be bullied. Who in this society would get used to her bad temper? You like money. As soon as I said that I'll deduct money, you changed your tune. You're hardly shy. Let's get back to work in the food truck first. If I lose money, I'll deduct that from your salary too, she said. Alex shook his head helplessly. He reopened the food truck with Nellie and started up her business again.
Please subscribe to the Pocket FM YouTube channel and press the bell icon for instant notification. Check out our channel for more such exciting shows.